with the leader of the Labour Party. It is Phil Goff with us this morning. Good morning to you, Phil. Are you well this morning?
Good morning, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, very, very cold. Whereabouts are you calling from?
I'm in Auckland, but I'm heading down to Wellington later this morning, and I saw the snow on the ground around Parliament there, and I thought, that's not a good look.
It's apparently once in a 40-year experience at the moment.
Yeah, I can't ever recall seeing snow that far down. You know, sometimes you see it up on the Johnsonville Hills or the Remataka Road, it's more common, but right down towards sea level in Wellington, that's pretty abnormal. So, yep, it's seriously cold down there. And I've got a flat that's like a fridge in the middle of winter, but it just has no insulation. So I'm going to be wrapped up. I think I'll sleep in a greatcoat tonight.
Sounds like the idea. Now, a bit of sadness over the weekend. Sir Paul Reeves passed away. I take it that you knew the man?
Yeah, I knew Paul pretty well, actually, both as Governor-General when I was a Minister in the fourth Labour government, and then I worked closely with him as Minister of Foreign Affairs when he was Commonwealth Emissary in Fiji. I had a lot of time for Paul. He was a guy that just had a huge amount of principle and decency. His integrity was unquestioned. He had a really strong sense of compassion, a belief in social justice that I think, you know, came out of his own upbringing and the way that he looked at the world. But he was always his message was always really clear. It was measured and it was careful, but you never missed the message. And it was about, you know, the things that needed to be done to make New Zealand a better and a fairer country.
Certainly a great loss to us all, I think. Now, Phil, let's talk about something else that happened over the weekend. Of course, the National Party conference, talking to the National Party faithful, and a crackdown on welfare payments to young people with some kind of payment card that they're coming out with. Is this a good idea?
No, it's tinkering around the edges. It's a very old 1960s idea from the United States of having food stamps. But look, that's not a solution to the fact that we've got 58,000 young people under the age of 24 not in jobs, not in education, and not in training. And that is a hell of a serious problem. And you only have to look at a place, you know, what's been happening in London to know what happens when you leave young people without jobs, without much hope, and without feeling any real connection with the community that they're part of. And, you know, what we're doing at the moment is just crazy. The rate of unemployment has gone up much faster among young people, and at the same time, they've been cutting job training opportunities. In the House last week, the Prime Minister admitted that they'd cut $145 million out of industry training for young people in the last year. Now, that's just a disaster. And we can do much better, and we have to do much better in that area. It's about getting jobs for young people. It's making sure that they have the skills. And the idea that you give food stamps to young people under the age of 18 so they don't buy alcohol and tobacco. Actually, it's illegal for them to buy either, I think.
That puzzled me, actually. Why have it exempted on there when they shouldn't be able to buy it anyway, right?
Yeah, I mean, the real problem, if they're getting alcohol, you've got to raise the question of why they're getting alcohol. Yeah. But look, that's a red herring as well. Sure, there'll be some young people that are, that have got drug and alcohol problems and addictions, and there should be management around their lives anyway. But to pretend that giving food stamps is the way that we solve the problem of youth unemployment is just nuts. Create the skill training opportunities, make sure the jobs are there, and then we'll give our kids a good start in life.
Do you think that in these tough times, since the financial collapse of 2008 and now it's dragging through 2011, could be the next few years as well, are we creating a disaffected generation?
I think there's a real risk in that, particularly when you consider that unemployment doesn't fall equally right across the board. It's our Maori teenagers and our Pacifica teenagers that have much higher rates of unemployment and much lower rates of skill. That's where we need to address it. That's why I've been talking about things like, Maori and Pacifica skill training. Try to get our young people there, encouraged, motivated to take on a skill. Not everybody needs to go to university. I think we're kind of mesmerised with the idea that you don't make it in in life unless you've gone to university.
Yeah.
You know, skill training is really important. Having technical and trade skills, that's essential. My two boys have both got trade skills. And what we want to do is create the role modelling, the pathways, and the mentoring to make sure that particularly those kids in vulnerable groups get the skills they need and have the confidence to go on in life. I was down at the Maori Cultural Festival, Matatini, in Gisborne earlier this year. There's a group of guys about my age, and, you know, they'd obviously done pretty well. And I said, you know, well, tell us about, you know, what you've been doing. And they said, look, all of us started off doing Maori trade training in Christchurch in the 1970s. Now, most of us aren't working in our trades now, but getting those skills gave us the confidence that we could tackle a problem, we could solve a problem, that we were able to do things that could, you know, help our families, help ourselves. And it was that confidence and that self-esteem and that skill set that really made the difference in our lives. And I think that's really true, and I think that's what we should be focusing on, you know, not tinkering around about food stamps for 16-year-olds.
Indeed. Answering the big questions. Thanks very much, Phil.
Okay, thanks, Wammo.
Stay warm. Okay, see ya.
Cheers. Bye, mate.
Leader of the Labour Party, Phil Goff, there with us this morning.